Right, we have our next run ready to go, and it'll be Mobile 1 Rally Championship, any percent by TumeK5. And yeah, take it away, Tume. You're live. Off you go.
Okay, so yeah, I'm TumeK5 and I'm running Mobil 1 Rally Championship, and this is in fact the second longest run in the whole marathon, only topped by Top Gear 2, which is up tomorrow at almost exactly the same time actually. So the estimate is 2:41 for this run. And this is a really obscure game, not a lot of people know about it, and I think they should, because yeah, the physics are weird and yeah, it's just an obscure game, but it's actually pretty fun once you get into it. Like, physics are hard to get into, but once you do, the game's pretty enjoyable. The stages are interesting and pretty long, and the graphics are fine. But the game was released in 2000, so that figures. And we're gonna go to the championship, and I'm gonna do all rallies in any percent. Basically, you could skip rallies because you can still win the championship. Don't have to do all the rallies, but I want to do them all, so we're gonna do them all. That's why the run is that long. And I am picking the Almera just because it has the most HP, and you know, it has pink colors, so that's cool. And then we're gonna do the setup. I think we're gonna go with these. Automatic driver name and visual settings. I'm gonna show not my position, not checkpoints, or sorry, checkpoints, yes. I'm gonna show everything but the position. We don't need to see that. So you're gonna see checkpoints, so you can see where I'm at during the stages, where I stand, just for your information. And then pace notes, why not? Because I might easily get confused. Speedometer is obviously important. Yeah, so when we go into the first stage, and the loading is quite long, it's like at least 20 seconds for each stage, so you could pretty much have a cup of coffee here if you wanted to. What else? Yeah. So the timer will start as soon as we get going. So 3, 2, 1, go, and then yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. And off we go. I think the car sounds are extremely disappointing in this game. Doesn't sound anything like a rally car in my opinion. That was a bad wide line. But we're still ahead by 1 second, so no worries there. But yeah, the physics are interesting. For the most part, you don't actually have to use the brakes at all, because just simply turning hard enough slows the car down a lot. So I'll only use it for hairpins and stuff, like here. Just a little bit, and then do the rest with steering. So this is the problem with the game. When you turn hard enough, the car kind of loses all momentum once you go enough sideways. And that is the reason we mostly just turn to slow down. And as far as I'm aware, this is actually the only shortcut, like alternate route in the entire game. For some reason, only in the first stage. I've tried looking for others, but I haven't seen any. And as you can see, the stages are quite tube-like they're surrounded by those tree walls. But that's what allows this high quality in the game. I think the game looks cool. And what I also like about this stage is that there's not many cuts, like in CMR games. If you watch those speedruns, there are a lot of cuts everywhere, a lot of exploits, but in this game you pretty much have to follow the route at all times. Only some minor cuts here and there, but not a whole lot. And there we lost our bumper. Car looks kind of creepy without it, but we don't need it, it's just additional weight. And there you can really see the slowdown. You have to be really like gentle and careful with the turning. If you're turning just a little bit too much, you're gonna lose all speed. And excuse my driving, I'm just warming up. And those kind of dips are annoying when you basically just crash onto the ground. Lose all speed that way too. Like that. But yeah, first stage is nothing special, but as you saw, I turned on the difficulty to hardest and we're still easily winning. But there are stages where we will never win at. But the first stage is easy win. And there's our first stage. And you would have seen the results there, but obviously since this is a speedrun, I'll just go ahead and skip them. And then you see the results again in the menu in a moment. And we'll just skip them and go to the next stage. And another part of this run that I love is that it's so straightforward. You just have to press X in the menus and that's all. You don't have service area, you don't have to do any menuing at all. The game remembers your car setup, and that's pretty much the setups we'll be using. Well, yeah, we will be using it for the whole run, but kind of fits all the stages. And let's see if I can do this tarmac part. The tarmac physics are really weird. So basically, when you start turning, as you're turning, obviously the car turns like dynamically, but once you stop steering, the car carries on to the direction where it's facing the front, as you can see. So it's kind of disorientating, but just have to get used to it. But we are surviving the section pretty nicely. And off. Sorry. Yeah. Over the jumps we go. I wonder if anything else about this run comes to mind, but obviously once we see something, it'll obviously make me remember. Because I might not remember even half the stuff I would still have to say about this game. You know, once we come to the points, then I'll obviously remember. But yeah, you can see the effect really well. Once you stop steering, it'll take a moment for the car to straighten, and once it does, it carries on to the direction where the front is facing. So it could have been done better, but that's just the way it is in this game. The ways of Mobil 1 British Rally Championship. But yeah, we survived the traffic? I mean tarmac section pretty well, because I was really worried that I might screw it up. It's really easy to get disorientated. But obviously automatically when you're playing this game you just remember, oh right, this is the game with the screwy physics. So it's not like you forget it suddenly, but it's just really weird. And we still haven't had even one single rollover. But once we do get there, you will notice that the rollover physics are pretty bad too. They're not dynamic, they're like fixed. If you have played Tommy Mäkinen Rally, yeah, it's kind of like that. You always roll the same way. First you go sideways and then you go upside down. I don't even know if you can actually roll sideways, like on the car's side. Maybe you can. But as far as I'm aware, it always goes upside down. And then we have our third stage. And the first rally is unique in the way that we have snow in the last 3 stages. So after this one we have snow. No other rally features that. And the snow physics, if you felt that the tarmac physics were weird, then snow physics are even weirder. And you'll see after this stage what I mean. That slow down. Turned too much. Oh yeah, I was meaning to say about that. The game does actually have like dynamic steering, not like on and off, like digital. It is actually dynamic in this game, but it's very seamless. Like there are like 3 different degrees of rotations aside from obviously going forward. Like 3 different positions for the front wheels, but or angles, but it's so seamless that I prefer using the D-pad, because you do need to turn hard. Slight steering won't do anything in this game. Especially as the starter cars, which is what we're using, are all front wheel drives. So they are understeery, but when they're not, they are oversteery. And you lose all speed. Well, I don't really get that sense of oversteer, if you know what I mean. The car just goes sideways and loses all speed, but by the oversteer I obviously mean the slowdown when you turn hard enough and go sideways. Oops. Well, could have been worse. We could have rolled, right? Yeah, speak of the devil. And there's our first roll. It is always the same. Once the car tilts enough, or what's a better word? Well, either way, you know what I mean. Once it goes past that, like, edge, there's no coming back. It'll roll over, and that's just the way it is. And before the stream I was like, can we finally get a run without any rolls at all? Won't be happening this run, I'm afraid. We just had our first roll. But I would like to get one of those runs someday. Sometimes it's just impossible to avoid that from happening. So banks and bankings are the salt in this game. You really need to see and be aware of them. But we're still leading, but of course that's... yeah, difficulty isn't the hardest in this game. But the rollover probably cost us like 5 seconds, just because it takes so long to respawn. Or for the game, rather, to reset the car. Actually didn't need brakes for that turn at all. So again, like I said, you don't really need to brake too often. You can slow down by just turning. But on tarmac we will need the brakes. Just kinda gravel is... like, I don't know how to explain it. What's the word? Gravel's like heavier, so obviously the car doesn't move as swiftly. But anyway, here we have our first snow stage. Let's see how this one goes. We've had one roll, but can we do one better? I hope not. But we might have crashes instead. But let's see how this goes.
3, 2, 1, go! Long left 5. Right 2 and 2 left 8. Long right D. Left 1 tight. Long right D and 2 left 2. Right 1. Long right 2 tight. Long left D. Long right 2.
So here you can see the snow physics, how they work. You pretty much have to go sideways just to go straight. Or at least moderately straight.
Right 4. Right 1. Long left 2 tight.
So I gotta say, for a first rally, this is extremely hard. Because of the snow stages. But then the second and third rallies have to be has to be the easiest,
Right 2
I'm sure.
2 left 2.
'Cause they are the same as the first 3 stages. Nothing but that pretty much for the entirety of those 2 rallies.
Right D open. Left 4. Long right 1.
And we are leading by 400s. It's not a whole lot, but the AI is a lot better on snow for some reason.
Long left D.
And that only adds for the difficulty.
Long right 2. Long left 4 open. Left 4. Long right 2. Left 2. Long right 2.
And here we have a major jump. Or at least we would have hoped. But sometimes the crests can be deceiving, like, oh shit, we're gonna... Oh. Yeah, I do apologize for that, but you get my point. Sometimes it seems like we're gonna jump really high, but then reality is often disappointing. Especially as I told about the slowdown in this game. When they hit those weird dips, when you crash to the ground, pretty much hit the ground, bottom out heavily, you lose a lot of speed. So just because it seems like it's gonna be a high jump doesn't mean it's gonna be. But that was an alright stage. Could have gone better, but at least we didn't roll or crash anywhere. We just lost our bumper and kissed the walls. Start of the run was pretty sloppy. I've only had one run done prior to this, and that was the submission run, which I consider my dearest for this game. But I felt like that's all I need. And I certainly can't expect to be doing a PB run. But I'll obviously try my best. But yeah, the least I should do is meet the estimate. So if we can get sub 241, that's good enough for your average run. And this game also has a PC version, which I haven't still tried. I would want to try that. People say it's a lot better. I could easily see why, because of these physics. And you know, PC should always be better. PC Master Race. And the stages are longer on that game. But there are less. And in this game there are more stages. Should actually have a word about that. So there are 6 rallies with 6 stages each. So after this one we have our last stage for the first rally. Oh, jeez. Didn't slow down really. Or just didn't turn. But yeah, as you can see, we're losing a lot of time compared to the others. Just because the snow stages are impossible to master because of the physics, so you just hope to do your best. But yeah, sideways for the win. Deja vu, I've just been in this place before. Oops. I was imagining the car would have slid more, but apparently suddenly it decided to go straight. And that is our first crash. And the walls are like... You know, they're... If you ever played like Driver, for example, the walls are made of like small blocks. So the in-between of 2 blocks, that's where the car will, you know, crash. So in any other game, like a newer game, that wouldn't have been anything, that would have just been a scratch. And I do apologize if there's like a lack of commentary, but it's basically a combination of me trying to focus, and since it's my first time being part of a marathon, slightly nervous, but good thing I don't have to be going for a PB run. If I was, then I wouldn't have taken part, because I know this run won't be anything special. But let's just try to meet the estimate, shall we? In before this is 241 and 1. Then I would be really pissed. But let's hope it won't come to that. But yeah, if nothing else, I gotta say that this game looks pretty good. But obviously, one of the reasons is that they take advantage of the tube-like stages. So there's only so much drawn at once. But because of that, you don't really see that popping in the draw distance, do you? It's like every time you see something behind the corner, it's gonna be there. But there is one stage, coincidentally a dark stage, where obviously draw distance doesn't matter as much. There you can see a really good pop in, but in these stages you can't really see any of that. Like, you try to look into the distance and yeah, you will be disappointed. Stage will be loaded. Well, now you can see a tiny bit because we're on a straight. That's natural. If we have like short bits of straights, then draw distance is pretty good. But yeah, now you see a little bit of that rendering. So yeah, we were like 5th there, I think. Not a really good stage, but even if we had avoided those crashes, I think we would have still been behind the first. Snow stages are pretty hard to win. Don't remember if I won that first snow stage, but I think I did. But not by too much. Like couple seconds, 3 at most. But now we lost by like 10 seconds. Obviously a result of those crashes, but again, even if I hadn't, I think I would have still lost. Now we have some fog effects, which is done pretty nicely too. The only shade of black you see is the shadow, which is like nearly unaffected. Ooh, we almost tipped over. You sometimes have those mini heart attacks during the run, because you never know when it's going over the limit and then finally tipping and rolling over. And we are dead last. Already in the beginning. We didn't even, you know, fail that much yet. And we are already dead last. Now we caught up some ground. And you obviously want to stay on the track as much as possible, because that's really where you have the most speed. So even if something is cop worthy, you might want to think that over, because you might get so much slowed down that it's not worth it. This is worth it, I'd say, unless you do that. Too much speed. But yeah, just for reference, that was like one of the biggest cuts in the whole game. So that goes back to me saying that the run is really straightforward and there are not a lot of exploits. Obviously here would be another, but I think, yeah, there's some banking. So I didn't want to take a risk. And I think it was the 5th rally, so the second last, which is where we'll have our last major cut. And probably the biggest cut in the whole run. Oops. But yeah, sometimes you just can't tell the limits, like when you're going too fast or when the angle is too low. And that's why these snow stages are a disaster. You have to both adapt to the physics and then situationally know what's the best move. And it's like you have a lot of wheel spin and like torque on snow. The car just keeps going and doesn't want to stop. And finally we have a breather from all that action. And I think we're just about done with the last stage of this rally. And second rollover. Because that bank was there. Should have gone slower or just stayed on the track, but you know, I blame the snow physics. They're just such a pain. But you can't blame the guys from trying to bring you a difficulty. Like a challenge. But yeah, it's just... these are not very convenient or comfortable physics. Let's just put it that way. You really need to learn them and get into them. But the snow physics are not my cup of tea, so I don't want to practice them if I really don't have to. But yeah, that's our first rally. And thank God we are done with the snow stages. The only 3 found in this rally. But the next 2 rallies are gonna be pretty much a breeze. Like nearly 100% gravel, and the stages are pretty okay. So now we get to have a little breather. If the snow was too demanding. And now we get to enjoy some of their colors apart from the car. But yeah, now that we're on the more easy stages, to just take a deep breath, inhale, breathe out, and just enjoy the scenery. Because I think, honestly, this is one of the best looking PS1 games. But it being released into 2000 is obviously a factor. But I'm just saying, it looks quite nice. If only the physics were, you know, the same kind of scale. going hand in hand with the graphics. You can still master the physics, it's just a matter of motivation and willingness to adapt. Whoops. Oh yeah, another thing about this game. One that's a rally, thing is obviously lining over crests. If there's a turn coming up after the crest, you can't do that in this game really. Because if you turn before the crest and then jump, then you're gonna lose all speed once you land. Obviously because of this little slowdown mechanic of the game. The more you turn, the more you will slow down. Any other game, sorry. Oh, my tongue's twisted. You would obviously just understeer and go straight, but in this game, turning more slows you down significantly. Which is why we won't use the brakes for most of the time. But yeah, the crest lining is like absent in this game. You pretty much have to go nearly straight over the crest if you want to keep your speed, even if there is like a hairpin coming up. You just stop if you try to go sideways. And that is our first stage, and that is a testament to this whole rally. All of the stages are pretty much like that, and it's very, very comfortable and a good break from the first rally. After the terror of ice and snow. Should open my drink. They're already starting to dry a little. That's better. And you obviously have a time to drink during the loading times. I could have easily gone to my fridge and grabbed a can.
3, 2, 1, go! Left 1 and 2, right C. Left 1.
And I love those little rays of sun that you can see against the tree background. In my opinion, at least, the lighting effects are done well in this game. Not only are the textures high-res or just nice looking, they also have some effects in this game. And you'll see that really well on the third rally. When there is a sunset going on, you can actually see the sun peeking from behind the trees, and you can see the lens flare and everything.
I guess we've got time for a quick mention of the charity and a few things.
Alright.
Yeah. Okay, so just to give everyone a heads up, over on the BSG and the McRaeathon channel, Team's doing Mobil 1 Rally Championship run. We are raising money for the Dutch Cancer Society, which is a nationwide organisation committed to fighting cancer while aiming for a better cure and a high quality of life for those already battling the horrible disease. All of your donations throughout the 2 days of McRaeathon 3 will be going to the Dutch Cancer Society. It's harder to say these days. The other thing as well to mention is that the BSG guys, for allowing us to use their channel, and allowing us to use all of their equipment as well. Again, like I said, allowing us to use their channel, to use the hub and everything like that, and to broadcast it to a bigger audience. And finally, last but not least, we also have a bidding war which is currently still active, it's still open, and that is the normal way or the slow way for the flat out carnage run. That is currently ongoing, and that will be happening after this run, I believe. Oh, sorry, not after this run, sorry. After the Top Gear rally run, so you've still got a few hours yet before that run, but that will basically allow you to, if we hit the goal, what will happen is you'll basically change that run slightly. So what I mean is, the runner will be using some of the slower cars rather than cars, and that will basically make the run a bit more interesting, a bit more challenging for him. And that's pretty much it. Just thought I'd get that out there real quick. So I'll leave Toom to do his run.
Yeah, no worries. It was getting pretty quiet anyway, so I don't mind that little pump in the action.
Good timing then, I guess.
But yeah, you could see that crest lining on that one stage, the previous stage that is, and it completely slows your car down if you try to sort of line over the crest. So that was a mistake on my part, but I just, obviously there was a turn during the crest, so I kind of had to do that, but yeah, I had no other choice. But optimally I would have kind of gone to the outside, then go straight over the crest, but what can you do? Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that. As soon as I was heading to the left turn, I was like, wait, isn't this the part where... Oh yeah, it is. And that is one of the more major cuts in the run. And yeah, this must be the stage where we also have two similar cuts. Oops. Yeah, another cut here. A really obvious one. Like, who would honestly, even a casual player, who would honestly follow the road if they knew that was coming up? I'd say pretty much no one. Unless if you were doing it on purpose, follow the road all the way, then obviously not, but after we're done with those kind of cuts, it'll be a long time until we see another one of those again. Because this run doesn't have a lot of them. Or the stages are designed pretty straightforward. And yeah, I also find it weird still that only the first stage has a shortcut, like an alternate route. Haven't seen any others. Yep, you're in the right place if you're looking for rally. You'll find plenty more of it in this marathon. And I love how those... what's the tool again? Chainsaw? Yeah. I love how those chainsaw sounds were projected from the logs. Oh, he hosted. Thanks for the host, man. Much appreciated.
For the background noise. Yeah, we've just had a 8-2 host off GT. Welcome everybody, I'm the host, and also thank you very much.
I kind of like that loading picture, actually. It kind of gets burned into your mind. It's the same picture, obviously, as in the cover art of the game. They really love to promote that Ibiza. Or Ibiza, however you want to pronounce it. And I might as well mention at this point that there are actually WRC cars in this game, but you need to unlock them, and that's what we'll do once we finish the run. But just because this is any percent, I'm gonna run with the default cars. But I think one day I'll start learning the WRC cars, how they handle. Oops. And right into the ditch. How we're getting out of there. There we go. Bystanders helping us out quite fast too. Ooh, don't go there. We've already been there once. But yeah, one day I will start learning the WRC cars because they will be significantly different and also probably faster. But right now, let's just stay true to the game and run the cars that the championship was using. And I still don't know what's actually the fastest car to use for the run. But like I said, I only chose this car because it has the most HP. But I haven't had the patience to start trying different cars and see what's actually the fastest pick. But I don't think they have any significant differences other than handling and obviously power. But you have some cars that have like way less, like half less power even than say this with its 270. Like there is, I think the Nissan Micra only has like less than 200, so that's obviously a bad pick. Even if it handles well, it would be slow. It's kind of silly that they're both in the same class, so if you want a challenge you should pick the slowest car and try to win against the AI on hard difficulty. So in that sense, obviously the difficulty would have to be fair if you try a challenge where you pick the slower car. But for this car, beating the AI is no problem. Ooh, that was close. We almost rolled over. So that's why the bankings in this game are no joke. Shouldn't like underestimate them and their power of tipping you over. And as far as the scenery goes, I think they pretty much nailed the British and Welsh and whatnot atmosphere. Trees everywhere, log piles, lots of gravel roads. So I think the scenery would also go for like Finland. If you didn't know any better, this could easily be Finland as well, but you know, this game looks good and the atmosphere is spot on. And later on, starting from the 4th rally, we will see town sections with trees and fields. And during those stages, you will hear dogs barking, so a little bit of more atmosphere, I guess. And then obviously cows, you can hear their moo. Kind of like the audience back there, I guess. Yeah, you're a little bit late. We did snow stages in the first rally. I guess that would have been Finland or Sweden. Sweden is notorious for hosting a snow rally. And just to be thorough, we won't have any other snow stages for this run. Only 3 of them in the first rally. But I think it's a good thing you missed it, because my driving was far from perfect there. The snow physics are so weird and so hard to get into that I'm just glad we're done with them now. Yeah, probably. Especially during the snow stages, it was like, come on, you can do better than that. I'm trying! Leave me alone, I know what I'm doing, I guess. But you can't really leave me alone, I need those pace notes. So unfortunately, I need you along for the ride. But honestly, this could be Finland. Just looking at it. But if you are a rally enthusiast, then you would obviously see this as Wales or England. It has that certain touch to it. With grey colored gravel. And then obviously all the log piles you'll see along the way. Don't know if that's a thing in Finland. Obviously somewhere, but I just got the impression that in Wales and England they like to stock a lot of those logs along the road. Yeah, like I said, this is pretty much England and Wales. Especially keeping in mind that this game is taking entirely place in England and Wales. because the game is Mobil 1 British Rally Championship. So we won't be moving out from that island. We'll be staying on it. And I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed because we are in England after all. So where's the rain? We barely have any during the run. Not that I mind sunny weather, but we're in England. It's supposed to be rainy.
That I can adhere to. Yeah, typical British weather. What? This can't be based in Britain, then, can it too?
Yeah, where's the rain?
No. You got clouds, you got snow, but yet there's no rain. Actually, has there even been any snow? If there has, I'd probably glance past it, but...
What in this game?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were done with the snow stages already.
I missed it. Damn it. God damn it.
Yeah, only the first rally has snow stages.
For
3
some
of them.
weird reason, I thought it was just like white gravel. I don't know why.
Nah, it was snow. Don't worry.
I don't know.
But thank God, I should say, snow is, yeah, not the most ideal setting for rally.
So in this game then, just to ask, because I'm curious for those other people may be curious to know, but even though it says the Mobil 1 British Rally Championship, how many regions does it actually go through? So does it go through England, Scotland, Wales and everything else? Or is it just
yeah, I think it's just Wales, Scotland and England.
I mean, we would count Northern Ireland, but then again, I don't know. It might be in Northern Ireland as well, you never know. There was one thing I remembered about this game though, which was it has several different championships, doesn't it? I believe.
Yeah, obviously the starter championship is the real one with the front wheel drives, but once you complete the championship, you unlock the WRC cars. So this game does actually have them, but you just need to unlock them.
Also, King Emo Cut, I think. King Emo Cut, there we go. Is that Viper Racing guy here? Yes, hello. Hello, I am here. I'm mainly the host, but yes. I'm here. Hello. But I always, because I've seen people play this game before, but you're the main person I know that runs, like, as in speed runs it. I don't get used to handling too much. But then again, that's just me.
People haven't dared to challenge this game.
Does it take a certain kind of gameplay style, would you say, to get used to this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the handling style is really... Oops. It's really unique in this game. So much getting used to. But honestly, I haven't tried the WRC cars too much yet, but I think they feel rather nice compared to these. Because these are obviously front wheel drives.
Well, I always thought that this game, I'll be honest, because I never got that past game. As in, I never really got past, like, maybe the first championship. I never really knew that there was the World Rally cars and stuff. I always thought it was just front wheel drive. I was like, it's one of them games that's really, really, you know, one of them games that's just really quiet. Not quiet, sorry. All those games that's just got like a slow selection of cars. Massive in terms of cars, but obviously there is. I suppose, in a way, would you say this game's better than V-Rally, given how old it is? I mean, what was this, 2000 when this came out?
Yeah. It's kind of hard to compare because both games are really unique. They have their own handling style, but I think in a way this game's better because V-Rally 2 has really, really bouncy and soft physics.
Yeah, I think V-Rally's more... I mean, the second one, the car tends to bounce around, whereas the first one, the car just tends to stick to the road and it's kind of all over the place, when it isn't. Really strange. It's a weird mechanic to get used to. But, Never mind. I mean,
But I think like the handling itself in Rally 2 is okay, but it's just the you know, suspension that sucks in the game. But the handling is okay. Like you can maintain some drifts and
yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
that sort of stuff. But the suspension is just could have been executed better in that game.
Well, the other thing to mention as well is that speaking of V-Rally, I think it's probably worth us mentioning. There will be a V-Rally happening tomorrow for those that don't know, between myself and Joseph, Joseph733 to be exact. It might still be it might be a solo run at some point, we don't know. At the moment it's a race, but if things go amiss then it could potentially turn it into a solo race, in which case it's not all too bad. But in terms of the rally games you played to, which one was your favourite to play out of the ones you played? Say, I'll narrow it down a bit for the ones that you played for the original PlayStation.
Well, I never really played a lot of rally games back in the day for PS1, but I guess this one's like pretty interesting because it's less known, it has a unique handling to it, but obviously the CMR still wins.
So you'd still say CMR 1, God Pray Rally 1, I mean?
No, I mean CMR 2.
CMR 2. Ah, okay.
So that game is obviously better.
Yeah, I mean, well, if we're talking PC versus PlayStation, I think it's an unfair contest, but I think for a PS1 game it's still pretty good. I mean, personally, looking at this game, it looks pretty good quality-wise. I've always thought V-Rally 2 was better than anything else, but then again, that's just me. The handling's
Yeah,
it is there or thereabouts, and it also depends which version you play too. Because V-Rally 2 have all them different, what do you call it? Different, can't say it now, platforms and versions.
And the sound there in the background is what we'll be hearing in the 5th rally. But yeah, I was about to say, I thought too that V-Rally 2 looked like a nice game, but honestly I like this game's look better. Then again, it came out in 2000, but yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, mate.
So at least this game did something right. If the physics are pretty weird, then at least the graphics are satisfying.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, supposedly people have told me that the PC version is a lot better handling wise. I'm still yet to play it, but that's not hard to believe because it's PC.
Yeah, going back to the V-Rally games, sorry, I had to quickly cut away for a second there, but going back to the V-Rally games though, I always think that in terms of the ones, I mean, out of the ones in the series, I think the best one, like I said, V-Rally 2, the third one was kind of hit and miss. The first one was, it's weird because, you know, when some games do it right, some games don't. I think V-Rally was one of them that just it was hit and miss.
Yeah, thankfully I never played the first one because I hear it's just utterly bad, like a budget game or something.
Yeah, it's literally a case of weird handling physics and that sort of stuff. I think I'm gonna say, surprisingly, I'm not the only person to have run that game. I was originally the only person that ran it, but somebody else has decided to take on that challenge now. So I'm happy that I'm not alone, which is good.
Yeah, you were alone probably for a reason, but
yeah, we'll keep that on the hush hush. Speaking of rally games and well, racing in general, King Emote posted a couple of interesting things, saying, in my opinion, V-Rally, at least with 3, is a pretty good rally driver management sim, but the rally itself is mostly passable.
And still, speaking of V-Rally 4 was botched.
Ah, yeah, because you picked it up, didn't you? You bought it.
Yeah, I I played it for less than 2 hours and then I
I
refunded
remember
it.
you asking me like, "Are you gonna buy it?" And I went, "No," because it looks bad. Even though it's like a brand new game and graphics. It was the gameplay that.
Yeah, well, you were not wrong that it was really bad.
I managed to get my hands
I mean,
on it.
I mean, the graphics were okay, but you know, they're the graphics. They don't matter today anymore because games are supposed to look good today anyway. But
Yeah, I mean, for me, it
yeah,
was kind of. I played it. I played the demo. I won't say a tech demo, but just the demo of the game at Eurogamer back in 2018 or 2017 or something. And I remember going up to the stand, and it was obviously it was being on a computer, of course, because they don't really do demos that much on the consoles, not as much anyway these days. They didn't do one for V-Rally 4 as far as I remember, and this was the only one, in my opinion, the only way I could have played it. So I thought, well, if I play it here and have a go of it, then you know at least I know what to expect. And the thing is, I'll be honest, nobody even batted an eye towards it, because I was like, oh, V-Rally, and everyone's just walking past it. I'm like, is it that bad that nobody cares? I thought, no, it is just a gaming event. It's not a car show or something like that. Because I don't know, racing games tend to be more popular when it's a car show. Makes sense, cars, you know, that sort of thing. But I thought, oh,
but imagine the feeling of the organizers when they put up the stand and the logos and stuff everywhere, and then no one pays attention.
Yeah, I sat on it for a good. I sat on it for half an hour. Right, I didn't even bother getting told to come off it. Nobody wanted to go on it. I had like a kid come up and stand next to me, and then he walked off, and that were it. And I'm like, God, really? Nobody cares. So I was sat there, played it for like half, and yeah, it was fun because I got to play a demo for half an hour without getting. But from what I played, I didn't really enjoy it. I'm kind of glad that I didn't pick it up. I mean, truth be told, maybe it's to do with it's got to be a bit similar to this game. You know, maybe it takes a certain person or a certain likeness to enjoy. Well, I could be wrong. Maybe it does. Also, King Emote thought that V-Rally had died on random. I was going through V-Rally 3 stuff. Very nice. Yeah.
I will also try V-Rally 3 at some point, along with a few other obscure games like Rally Championship, just named Rally Championship, as well as what was the third one?
Somebody wanted to run V-Rally 3. I forget who. That's real S2. I was like, yeah? You're asking me why? And they were like, well, you're the mod. I'm like, ah, okay. So, somebody does have an interest in running it, but no one's actually put any runs for. I feel bad as well, because I put the leaderboard up and it never got a run through. Also, I recognise O2 in the chat. Hello, O2.
Yeah, hi.
And also, speaking of racing again, this was something that I didn't mention before, which was another thing that King Emo had mentioned, was if anyone was looking for the BTC 2020 or British Touring Car Championship 2020. Personally, I mean, I don't know. Toom, do you watch the British Touring Cars? No.
No, sadly I only watch F1.
Fair enough.
I don't even know where I could watch BCCC apart from, you know, internet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean,
as far as TV watching goes, and generally, by the way, too, I only watch F1.
Well,
nothing else.
That's fair enough. I mean, in terms of the British touring car, I'd say you're missing something, if I'm being honest. I mean, no offense to those that watch like NASCAR or stuff like that, but I don't know, British touring car is pretty good. I got into it last year and just because I'd not really taken an interest in it years prior. There's only one thing that I actually took an interest in, and that was like the late 90s. The touring car games were out, and I've picked up the reviews for the 97, 98 and 99 season, but that's only because, like I said, they were on the Toka 1 and Toka 2 touring car games for the PS1.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, if you mean VX, if you mean like a head-to-head race against someone else, no, this is just a singular speedrun, but it's still a race technically, as Bad Kayar said.
Yeah, he's just going as fast as he can to get through.
Yeah, it's a race against myself.
I'm here for co-commentary and to talk about a few things too.
Yeah, you could get the pace notes a little bit better, but
I mean, there's a few things on rally games and racing games that were pretty good back in the 90s. I mean, we could have I think, I don't know, like, in terms of how everything works as well, you know, in terms of how racing games worked in the 90s, a lot of them, I mean, let's be honest, since maybe, was it Dirt or Grid? I forget which one of them that came up with the flashback feature. Up until that point, racing games were tough, if I'm being honest. They were long, they were tough.
well, generally games back in the day were tough. They weren't holding your hands much.
This is the thing, it's like, since they've had, what's it called? You know, since they've had the flashback feature introduced, near enough every racing, like, rewind or flashback, literally, you know, no creativity necessary for naming that one. No, it's done. Yeah, I don't know, the racing games change these days, on and off a lot. Going back to the Tokka games though, it's funny we mentioned that. So King Emote Cup has mentioned about that there was a TAS of the first one, which funnily enough I've seen. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't watched through all the 10 hours, but I know about that run.
It's 10 hours long.
Yeah, and it's a task, so...
You think, don't you, for like, oh my god, 10 hours. I mean, the guy who's playing it, fair play to him. My god, I couldn't play that game for 10 hours. Also, there's no...
But I wonder if, in Tokka it's necessary to, finish all races or, you know, get into points to win the championship.
I did a playthrough of it the other day, the first Tokka, and I didn't get too far through it. But I do remember being able to skip races. The problem is that if you skip a set of 2 right near the start of the run,
oh yeah, I know what you're on about.
They'll easily just outdo you. But even if you did it later down, they'll probably catch you.
Oh, I thought you were on about, you know, the whole mechanic of the game telling you where to finish or you'll be kicked out of the championship.
Yeah, if you get far enough ahead of them, pardon me, sorry, I'm in voice shot.
Ah, okay.
But if you get far enough ahead of them, say you get halfway down the line, then you'll easily have a lot of points in hand. So there's a big problem, which is, you know, we have all these points. It's like, oh, I can skip a race, but you skip one race, like the sprint race, and you're only just like 3 points ahead, even though you have like a 20-point gap. It's pretty crazy.
So that TAS run was like a full run.
Literally, I think finishing every single just to win the championship.
Yeah.
I did it with Tokka 2 is actually way easier because I did a championship from start. Sorry, not a novice, an expert championship from start to finish, and I won the championship by 40 odd points, 50 odd points, but that was like with retirement. So I reckon you could finish an expert championship with less points. I could be wrong, but it's that. Also the soundtrack.
I still want to get back to V-Rally. Just gonna mention that obviously it was never intended to be like a full rally sim. It was just for more casual players, I suppose. Because in V-Rally 2, for example, you only had 2 stages per rally or something, and then you had a service area which you didn't even need because the car never would have gotten that much damage that you actually needed the repairs. It was just there because it's part of the rally, but it was never needed. Like in this game, you don't have service area because it's really not needed. Then again, the car was never broke down to have like performance damage, but still,
Yeah, no,
they tried to implement it, but it's just no use. You don't need it.
I mean, the physics of the first V Rally were like when you're on tarmac, the car would just stick to the road like glue. As soon as you got off road, the car's like all over the place. Plus, I'll be honest, I thought V Rally 1 had a pretty good soundtrack. V Rally 2 not so much, but the first one I thought had a pretty good soundtrack. It was pretty cool.
The whole sticking out to the tarmac, that sounded like CMR3.
Yeah, it's one of them things, really. You know, like in terms of the physics, though. Like, for example, in the first V Rally, there was parts where there'd be jumps, and the car would go over, and obviously, even the problem is that the physics are completely. So, say for example, you go over a bump normally, the car just goes whoop, boom, the back end lifts off slightly. Obviously, you're in the air for a brief half a second, not even that. And the front end slightly lifts off, but that's it. But if you go at high speed, you can either get the same effect, or you can go straight over, and the front end will lift off like a rocket, or whatever. It'll just lift off, and you'll be like doing a wheelie in midair. You'll land, the car flips over about 100 times. It's all over the place. V-Rally 2 though, nah. Never really had that problem. Just smashing into walls too fast, that was my problem. At least the car actually stuck to the road a bit better though in that game.
But yeah, V-Rally 4, it's another good example on why V-Rally is meant to be for more casual players, since the physics were arcade, difficulty is really easy. I was expecting some kind of opposition, but stages were really easy to win. And I still can't get over the fact that you have a limitation of 180 degrees of rotation. Really, in 2018.
Yeah, we've had quite a few.
Like I wanna use my steering wheel, but no, 180 degrees. It's so off-putting when you can only turn 90 degrees side to side. You don't need to turn anymore.
Also, we've just had
You
a
couldn't.
$30 donation from Anonymous. So thank you very much.
Nice.
That was actually pretty good timing.
Is that the first donation?
That would be the second. We've had one from Hypnotic, and we've also had one from Anonymous just now.
So what's the other donation in the previous run then?
So we had $5 from Hypnotic, and it was just a general donation. I think you might have gone towards something. I can do this whilst you're doing your run, of course.
Alright. But yeah, thanks for the donation.
Give us 1 second. Where the hell? There it is. Yeah, thank you very much for the donation. Give me a minute.
But yeah, V-Rally. It obviously stands for Virtual Rally, I guess, but I like to call it Vague Rally.
Yeah, something like that.
It's trying to be a rally, but I mean it looks like rally, but it doesn't really feel like it.
Okay.
Difficulty was too easy in 4. Physics were really arcade.
So we've had out of the donations currently are ongoing in terms of bid wars. I'll bring this up. So we didn't hit the donation incentive for GT Advance 2. However, we are halfway towards flat out incentive, which is normal way or the slow way, which is $1.5 out of 25. And currently on the Neo Drift Out, the Neo Drift Out new technology run that will be coming up tomorrow, where you get to pick which car will be, what's it called? Where you get to pick which car that the runner's going to be using. So far, the Mitsubishi Lancer is out in $5, and the Subaru Impreza has $2.50. If you'd like to change that, then feel free to send donations to whichever one you'd like to see the runner use. There is 3 options: the Mitsubishi Lancer, Subaru Impreza, and the Toyota Celica. And like I said, currently the Mitsubishi Lancer is winning. Your donations will be what makes the difference. I should also mention as well about some of our other bid wars that we have a Sega Rally Championship formed by myself tomorrow, and you guys will be able to decide. Again, that's another bid war where you guys will get to decide which car that I will be driving. So you either get to pick the Lancia Delta or the Toyota Celica. I would have put the Stratos in there, but yeah, it's a bonus car. So by default, they're the default cars. And for the Top Gear 2 bonus run, we are $15 out of 25, far away from matching that. So keep those donations coming in, and yeah, thank you very much so far for all the donations.
3, 2,
I mean, I think we could probably talk a bit more about V-Rally, I suppose. I don't see why. I think V-Rally is virtual rally, isn't it? I think that's the reason why it's
Yeah.
called, why there's a V.
It's never been like sorry, what's the word? Like it's never been evaporated on what the V actually means, but I think it's just virtual.
That makes sense. Do you know what really, and I don't know about you, but do you know what really annoys me about V-Rally? It's not the series, it's how EA got involved and messed everything up with the first 2 games. So, for those that are unaware, I'm pretty sure Toom knows this, but for those that are unaware, when V-Rally got released in Europe, so this is including the UK obviously, but we're going to ignore what's been going on recently. When it was released in Europe, it was released under the title of V-Rally, I think it's V-Rally 97 Championship Edition.
Yeah, Championship Edition.
And V-Rally 2 got released as V-Rally 2 Championship Edition. But in America, EA decided to see an opening. They saw an opening and decided to say that they published the game for America.
And then came Need for Speed
Yeah.
Re-Rally.
So they decided, why not? Why don't we just change the name? People aren't going to know the difference. So in America, it is known as Need for Speed V-Rally and Need for Speed V-Rally 2. Again, this annoys the hell out of me. When they got to V-Rally, why do we region different names and blah blah blah? So the game was sold as V-Rally 3 worldwide, and obviously V-Rally 4 was sold the same everywhere. But in terms of the other thing as well, keeping on the V-Rally 2 naming topics and EA and everything. So V-Rally 2, I briefly maybe touched upon this before, but V-Rally 2 has several. You've got the PS1 version, which is obviously, like I said, V-Rally 2 Championship Edition if you're in Europe, and the Need for Speed V-Rally 2 if you're in North America. It probably counts as everywhere else, but I don't know. And then on the Dreamcast, it was known as V-Rally 2 Expert Edition, and it was also the same on the PC as well. The difference.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing about I hate about games is that regional differences and all those name differences.
Yeah. Like the thing is.
Why does it have to be a thing?
Here's the thing. There's a big difference. So, with the PS1 version of the game. Yeah. So the PS1 version of the game. If you did the Europe Championship, for example, stages would take way longer, so the games were at a better frame rate. They look nicer, they look better, but there's a downside. They'd be a lot longer stages. It's the hardware mainly that does it, but that's just what's happened. So what's happened is you know, like I said, you play V-Rally 2, you play it on the PlayStation, as me and Toom and Joseph and a few other people have done. And long story short, you do the European Championship, and a speedrun of that on whether you're playing it on PlayStation, it's around less than easy. If you did it on Dreamcast or on PC, it's like 50 odd minutes. Which is because
we're
all
over.
of the what do you call it? All of the stages are all a lot longer. Again, why this is a thing, I don't know. Maybe due to the technology that they had at the time. I'd have a guess at that. It's probably just to do with the technology. Because of advancing technology, you know, we can make the graphics better and get it run at a better frame rate. We'll make the stages longer too. I mean, that's my guess. But it was something that was the reason why I don't really run Dreamcast. Or PC for that matter. PC is kind of a bit of a mess as well. Especially if you try and play it on a modern PC these days. A bit of a mess.
But yeah, when it comes to game namings as well, Toka World Touring Cars, the third installment, it was called something way different in America. I forgot. But it was like something and something racing.
I can look for you. Won't take much to look. Was it Toka World Touring Cars? Let's see. Yeah. Okay, yeah, now I can see why you said it. So it was known as Toka World Touring Cars. But in North America, ready? It was known as Jarrett and Labont Stock Car Racing in America. With the cover art featuring NASCAR drivers Jason Jarrett and Labont. Apparently.
Why? I just don't get it.
It's one of them things. In Japan, the PlayStation version was ported and published by Spike because that's one of the main companies over in Japan. They also ported Colin McRae Rally and also the original driver. And that was published as WTC World Touring Car Championship in Japan. So it had 3 versions, surprisingly. You want to hear what Drivers was called? The Japanese version of Driver.
Mm-hmm. Well, Japanese versions are a different thing, but go on.
Give me a minute. Give me a sec.
Also, now we finally have rain.
Hey, we'll be right without.
This is Scotland, though, not England, per se, but oh well. It's on the island anyway.
Mercy me. Yeah, I guess I reckon. Sorry, I was just reading stuff. So the text as well as the driver font was something that was different between the PAL and NTSC version. Here we go. Right, so ready for this? The driver 1 was known as just Driver in Europe. In America, it was known as Driver, You Are the Wheelman, and had some pretty bad artwork, if I do say so myself. It just looked too in your face. And my personal favourite, which is the Japanese release, is Driver, Senryu Karchase Dag... I can't even say the last bit. Dasakutsun. I feel I butchered that way badly. Well, the Driver 1 cover that was released for Japan actually looks pretty good. It was my favourite cover. I actually like that. I actually had a look to see if there was any in particular what do you call it, region differences for the games, like the certain mission skip and stuff. Turns out it's just the same game. Frame rate's about the same as the NTSC anyway. I mean, it is.
I would have lost it if the Japanese version featured Tenor's face actually having like anime eyes or whatever.
It might have done, you never know. It was released a lot.
Sometimes they do that, especially one example, Crash Bandicoot. They completely changed the look of Crash. Because of localization, Japanese people are different, so they require different
it's to do with his eyes.
versions of the characters.
He looked like a murderer. So they had to change it. Personally, I don't see a problem. I see it as more... He looked like cartoon. He looked more like a cartoon character with his eyes than an actual game character. I don't know.
And it's kind of ironic that Japanese people want to be protective like that when they are the country that are known for 18 plus. So what are you trying to protect? I don't know.
Also, so it's I might as well just copy it in the chat. This is literally the title of There you go. That's what it.
Yeah, I know. I was just giving an example that Crash was changed. I know about Spyro too, but yeah.
I don't even
They
know
do that.
if Spyro did get changed. I mean, Spyro doesn't anything. Crash does, but he doesn't. In my eyes, he never looked that scary. But then again, that's just who we are. Japan has a different restriction, so it makes sense, I guess. I don't know, like games have changed over the years. The one thing that they don't do these days, and personally, I think it's obvious as to why, but then at the same time, it doesn't make any sense. Which is region differences for games. They were around for God knows how long, and then when they got to the PS3, there's still a region difference. Oh yeah. But the game is exactly the same. There was no, oh, the frame rate's better or anything like that. Probably because the console could handle it, I'd assume. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. And the consoles are multinational, so that rather than you get a console and it's locked to a certain region like you used to get with the PlayStation 1 and 2, you get a 360 or a PlayStation 3, it's even if it is regional, like you can still play games. You play the same games you get in other countries. There is still exclusives in other countries, but they're very rare. You get, a game.
Brad?
Yes.
And now we are heading to the fourth rally, and this is by far the most memorable of them all, and it's because of due to the fact that most of the stages are tarmac and full of fast sections. So this is one rally that really stood out for me.
Ooh. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
And it's called the Seat Jim Clark Memorial Rally.
Oh, very nice. I definitely approve of that one. I mean, we're both F1 fans, so that works. Also, there's probably a load of questions that I've missed. O2 mentioned about Grid 2019 being really horrible, apparently. Which, weirdly enough, I got told off a couple of people it's bad. I played it for myself at a car show back in January. It seemed okay, but I played better. I still like the original, personally. I mean, the original was good. The second one, meh. Third one was getting better, but still meh. Why they called it Grid again, though, I still don't see why they didn't put a 4 in the name. Mind you, then again, they probably wanted to be, didn't want to be too modern. I don't know.
But yeah, that name, it's like Driveru Senyu Kar Jusasu. That's
a pretty good attempt, yeah. It's probably that.
But yeah, the title name would have to be like Driveru.
Yeah, Driveru or something, I don't know. If anyone here is from the region of Japan and knows exactly how to say it, please tell us how.
Yeah, we are clueless.
One of the things actually though, going back to the Tokka games though, was that, I mean, games these days, they do have soundtracks, but a lot of it's licensed music. If you go back to
back in the day, you had more like original tracks.
Yeah, nowadays it's just kind of, what can we do with music? Let's just shove some of the modern stuff in there. They do.
Yeah, we're too lazy to.
Still there, with original music. They still make original music for Pokemon and things, but that's
Yeah,
Nintendo.
but most games nowadays are like we're too lazy to compose.
Yeah. I feel bad because it's like sound composers are probably going out of business. Or people who create music.
Well, then they just work for Nintendo, I guess.
Yeah, most of them probably do, you never know. This isn't a bad mouth on Nintendo, by the way. This is just putting it out there, it's true. People don't really make music like they used to. There is something that come up, and this might interest you a little bit too, maybe. So, the guy who wrote the Driver 1, Driver 2, funnily enough, he wrote quite a bit. There's a guy that's called Alistair Brimble. He wrote the Driver 1 and Driver 2 soundtracks. He also wrote the soundtrack for Colin McRae Rally 2, Game Boy Advance, and a few others as well. And he's recently remastered the Driver 1 and Driver 2 soundtrack that he originally wrote, but with his technology. So he's gone back and found basically when he used to create those, he used to use an instrument set, something like that, you know, keyboards and all this stuff to get it all together. And what he couldn't do was, because of the PS1's limited sound capability, he couldn't play the song properly, as in have all of the instruments in there. So he's recently released it, and it's being used in the new. I say the new. It's been going for a few years now, but it's still kind of. It's in alpha beta, and I personally like it. The new driver game, which has been made by Soap, a guy called Soap, not the one from Call of Duty, just a guy called Soap. And he's been working on this driver game now for years, and it's in alpha, it's in beta. Would highly recommend going downloading it. If you're into driver, that is. I know not everybody's going to be a driver fan or a car fan, but just putting that out there. It's
Well, yeah, that made me think about the Crash Bandicoot soundtrack. I forgot the composer's name, but he also uploaded the originals in SoundCloud, and that was also the thing, you know, he actually composed them differently compared to what they came out on PS1 because of the limitations.
I really like the Crash Bandicoot soundtrack. The second one, not so much, but then again, no, you can't like every soundtrack you hear. What do you think of the Tokka one, by the way? The Tokka soundtrack.
Hold on, I just want to say that, yeah, it's kind of interesting that they actually composed it differently before it went onto console, and then they had to get rid of instruments or just, like, deepen them or make them less stood out. But yeah, Tokka soundtrack is cool.
There was one in particular, I forget which soundtrack. The problem is that when they're uploaded online, I'll soundtrack 1, soundtrack 2, soundtrack 3. But you can, when you hear them, you go, oh yeah, I know this one. There was one in that particular one that I really enjoyed. Actually, there was two in particular that I really enjoyed because they've just both come to mind. And I forget how it goes, but it was in the credits for the game. That's the easiest way of putting it. It is mainly in the credits. But then there's another one which was often used in qualifying, although it was in the ring. But I don't know, it was nice. That music actually helped me driving. It really helped. Quite nice.
But yeah, I do like the soundtrack, but I think it was exaggerated in Tokka 1 because of the fact that, you know, there's a lot of music in the background during the races that kind of gives you an arcade feeling.
Yeah.
Because in this game,
they did, but it wasn't.
Yeah, but like even this game and then CMR2, they don't have background music in Rally.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah. Imagine
So
if
it's kind of like
you're driving a rally car and it's like listening to, I don't know, Toto Africa or listening to something like that. You'd be like, this is strange. You wouldn't be able to concentrate. I mean, you need to your code. It works for arcade racing games, like you said.
Yeah, there's the co-driver, and then obviously you're kind of doing rally, so you need to focus on the task at hand, not enjoy some music, and then oh crap, hairpin. But yeah, another reason why V-Rally is arcade. It has music in the stages, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I always find it. I think this is one of the things I like about all racing, that they were classed as simulation when they came out. These days, they're nowhere near as simulation as what we get these days. They feel more arcade than anything else, but I suppose that's why I can come back and enjoy them more. I mean, I don't think I'll ever be coming back to Dirt Rally or Dirt Rally 2 for, you know, in like 20 years and call it a classic. I might say that it was a good rally game, but that's probably about it. You know, these games stood up. Then again, these games were my childhood, so that's probably why we're attached to them. The games from your childhood.
Yeah, it's always the nostalgia value that makes you attached to old games, even if they're not even good like anymore. So to
say. You know what I used to like though? The best bit about the Tokka series, for me, was the commentary at the start. You know, I know F1 does it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it'd be like, it'd start there and it'd be like, welcome to the 1998 British Touring Car season. And then the thing is, they'd use the same lines for the weather. So if it was raining or it was starting to rain, it's like what is it? The clouds look like they could split
And-
rain at any moment, but we are not expecting rain, so it shouldn't affect the day's racing.
And I love the commentary. There's actually a thing in Toga 2, at least, if you turn on fastest speed, then the commentary gets played faster too.
I think I might have done that by
There's a-
accident.
So it's like, welcome to Toga 2, the British German car.
Oh man.
So if you have a PS2 and Toga 2, then try that out. It's worth trying.
It's like, it kind of annoys me whenever you got the pole position or you race. It's like, and that's another sprint race win for the new Honda driver. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
These days it's kind of like, and Hyper takes the win, or whatever you can get that's closest to your name.
And then in Colin McRae Dirt, you finally get to choose like a nickname, so you don't have to be referred as the Honda driver or.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's like, you know, you could have, what is it, one of them games that you could do it on. I think it was Talker 2. Oh, that was it. The bonus thing. Bonus commentary. So you could get, I think, I forget what it is. There's a cheat code. The cheat code you type in the name selection, because that's how they did it back in them days. Most of the time.
Cheat mode enabled.
Yeah. And that one was, you press something, I forget what you type in a cheat code, and it would be an outtake of Tiff Needle, or Tiff Needle, however you say his name. And it would be him, but he'd be messing up his voice lines. So it'd be like, what does he say? It'd be like, let me just think. I get over that. But it'd be there.
Also,
it would.
Also during these stages, you reach the highest speeds in the game. Don't know if it's this stage or some other stage. You can reach like 260 kilometers. Don't know what's that in miles, like 120 something.
Can't remember off the top of my head. Probably about 120, yeah. What was it, 260
So these cars do go, but only on long straights on tarmac.
160 miles an hour.
Yeah, okay,
That's
now
really
we're
shifty.
almost at
That's from a Nissan Primera
Yeah.
as well. Bloody hell.
260, 261. Yeah. 262, 5. Yeah. That's our maximum now. Could probably reach like 270, but shouldn't try that or that will happen again.
Can you actually break the car from driving Can you
Sorry?
break the car from driving too fast?
Nah.
Oh, that'd be quite funny if it fell
There's-
bits on you. You topped it out too bad.
There's no performance damage in this game, only like visual, you just lose the bumper, spoiler from bumper,
Ah,
and that's about it.
fair enough. That was it.
That's why you don't
I've
have...
remembered it. Yeah, so the Tucker 2 thing, like bringing up the rear, the new Audi drive, blah, blah, blah. You just start going off on one. They went blah, 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 blah. Actually saying that. And he'd be like,
Nice.
who's this? What does he say? Like, who's this writer that's come up with these notes and stuff like that? He starts swearing and everything. Really funny.
Nice.
He'd like have his work cut out again at the back, and then they don't actually cut out the swear word, they accidentally put the bleep afterwards. So it's like have his work cut out again, stood like that, and that'd be it. It'd be like, oh, okay then. It's like, I bet he never reads them out loud once. Like, fine, I will continue. The fact that they left that in the game makes it's a cheat
Yeah.
code to get it, but well worth it.
Yeah, it's funny when they leave files inside the game.
Funnily enough, the one thing that used to it kind of bugs me now is that the original Colin McRae Rally had the 2 bonus cars and 4 bonus stages. So you normally get the super special stage, you unlock all the rallies, and you'd unlock all of those on the PS1. But then on PC they got an extra treat, which annoyed me. They must have done it because of, oh well, it's PC and blah blah blah. And it was, you basically was able through a cheat code drop the Toyota Celica GT from from 19. I think it's 1993, if I remember correctly. And then there's some other car. I don't know what it is. Some weird concept car from future that you could drive. Where it was really fast. And then there was like 4 bonus stages. 2 of them were actual stages, and the other 2 were. 2 of them were stages, and 2 of them were like super special. And you could actually do them as super special stages. I don't think you could really race them though against AI, which sucked. But it was fun.
Also, funny little detail of this stage. In the beginning of the stage, it says that it's mostly tarmac, but that's obviously not true. We started on gravel. We're now on gravel. So, bit of an oversight.
Maybe it's supposed to be tarmac. I don't know. Looks like.
No, you can hear the rock, like gravel sound, and you have clouds coming out. It's definitely gravel. It has the gravel physics too, so it's an oversight.
Definitely gravel.
Yeah. I mean, even a baby can see that.
Also, some funny suggestions for songs. Remember how I mentioned before about the code drop? And saying, you know, you won't be playing music in the car, that's why they play music in rally games these days. And King Emote Cook came up with 2 good ones, which was Land Down Under by Men at Work and Africa by Toto, which works. I mean, I did say Toto Africa, but yeah, nice that we agree. I think they both work, to be honest.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was also one pace note that was incorrect. He said out loud left 5, but it was actually a right, so. The pace note icon was correct, but when he says it out loud, it's actually incorrect, so.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, some oversights in this game. I even have a highlight of it on my channel. I was like so confused and my brain was processing it afterwards. Like, I'm pretty sure he'd said left 5, and then I saw it again and he did. Pretty bad co-driver. You're supposed to tell me where to go and then you say it wrong. You're fired.
Well, if we were doing songs, like, I know F1 did this during testing last week, but if rallying did something like that, say you had a song that you could play for a rally, so Land Down Under for Australia, Toto Africa for Africa, what would you have for other rallies, like Spain or Italy or the UK? I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Oh, I know what I would have for Spain. Doon dee dee doon dee dee doon dee doon dee doon doon dee dee doon dee dee doon do 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 do.
Spanish flu.
Yeah. That's appropriate for Spain, right? But it's kind of hard to concentrate with that in the background. And also here we have one of our fewer night stages, and this is actually pretty hard. I've never been able to win this stage, not even close. It's really hard to see, and because we are on tarmac, the physics are obviously bonkers. Yeah, I've never been able to win. Yeah, it has so many turns everywhere. Never been able to win this stage, not even close.
It's just like, what the?
Yeah, you can't see much ahead, and even if you do, you need to adapt to the physics.
You're gonna be leaving poker for the finish rally, since it is finished.
Oh, Jesus.
How does that one go? Because I've not heard that one.
I don't remember how the lyrics go, actually. It's really,
I don't know.
like, weird.
I mean, the UK could be... I mean, I predict a riot could work. I predict a riot.
Like, half of them are, like, made up words, but they just sound Finnish.
I think, well, that could work, actually. I predict a riot. I predict a riot. That could work for the UK.
guess.
I don't know, actually. No, we'd have to have something to do with the rain. So...
Chocolate rain?
Chocolate
No.
rain! No. No, no.
And they're rolled over. That's nice.
Oh, what's it called?
But, since this is a night stage, at least it's very short. There you go. Like in real life, I think night stages are short by for a reason, because they're very demanding.
For life, me, I can't think of anything. Especially if it's raining. Because I was thinking of what's that song that Eminem sang? I was thinking of an Eminem song. I don't know why. Oh, for the British, Three Lions. Yeah, that works. Yeah. America's Sweet Home Alabama, although they don't really have. Mexico's da 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 da.
But yeah, that was a really tough stage.
That would work.
The day I master that, I don't even know what I'll do, because I won't. So.
I think that works. Yeah. Da 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 da. That's the Mexican rally. Rally Mexico.
Yeah.
Rally Sweden? Ooh, ABBA. Easy.
Yeah,
Anything by ABBA would work. Gimme, yeah. No, I'm that one.
Oh no, hold on, I
Monday,
forgot how the
Monday,
one
Monday,
goes.
must be
No,
Monday.
not that. No, not that
Dancing
one.
You can dance.
No.
You can do that one.
No, hold on. I forgot how the lyrics go.
Oh, mamma mia. Na, 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 na. That one. There's a few actually. Chat, help us out. Swedish rally. What's a good song for that?
Well, it has to be ABBA. Or even Cardigans.
Wait, the Cardigans are Swedish?
Yeah, they are.
So, my favourite game.
Yeah.
That was in Gran Turismo, wasn't it? One of them.
Yeah.
I think you said it were in... I think you told me it was in Gran Turismo. I forget which one. First or second.
Second one in the intro.
Yeah. Nice.
That would be for a Swedish stage, if not ABBA.
Bass Hunter with a Dota song. I'd never heard that one, so I don't know. What else? What other songs is there? Not other songs, other rallies is there? Well, Rally Japan should be easy. No, that's too obvious.
I don't know the exact lyrics, but it's like, I'll dance with you, honey, if you think it's funny. Does your mother know that you're
yeah, that works for Sweden.
I'll chat with you, baby, flirt a little, maybe.
This has just turned into a song contest now. Oh well, it's fine. Hey, it's making the run go by. Can't lie about that one. Run's going by pretty fast.
I don't know about that. I just did roll over in the dark stage, so.
You could use Sandstorm? Nah, not really.
Finish stage.
Well, there is another one, actually. There was one that came out in the 80s. It was in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And it was Japanese Boy. It was an 80s song. But it was...
But I mean, for a finish stage, you could have Sandstorm.
Yeah, going over bumps at 125 mile an hour.
Well, it would be pretty accurate, like,
Yeah, it works.
yeah, 150 miles per hour over bumps and long straights and whatnot.
Are you picking my mic up okay? I don't know if my mic's coming across fine.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
It is.
Okay.
I can hear you, but sometimes it kind of cuts off. I don't know why.
Mine keeps saying it on mine for some reason. Like, I'm there and then I'm not there. Maybe I'm not talking directly at the mic. Maybe I'm facing upwards. I don't know. Yeah, I forget what it... How does it go, that Japanese song? Say Japanese song. It's English song, but I don't know whether it was made in Japan or America or... It's called Japanese Boy. It's like do 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 ding.
And now we enter the second last penultimate rally.
It's slightly quieter than the runner, but it's still there. Good. As long as you can hear me, King Emo, that's good. Good stuff. Right, so Rally Australia, that's obvious. Is there a Rally New Zealand these days? I don't even know if that's still going. Rally New Zealand. Is that still going? Is that still a thing? Not a clue.
Yeah, that's as good of a question if you don't know any better. It's asking if some team is still in the WRC or not.
No, as in the New Zealand.
Yeah, I know, but that's as good of a question. Because if you didn't know any better, like I had no idea that Subaru, Mitsubishi, none of those were in WRC anymore.
Yeah, they left years ago.
Before,
I don't know why.
yeah, before I looked it up, I didn't know.
I was pretty gutted when I found out. I mean, it wasn't that long ago when I found out, probably about a year or two ago, when I found out that Subaru, Mitsubishi and all that, they'd all left. I'm like, no, they're not in WRC. But then again, if I just watched the WRC, I would have spotted it.
Yeah, so now you just have Toyota, Hyundai, and two more.
Toyota disappeared for a few years, came back, it's still there now. It's owned by Tommy Makina. That's a plus. Rally legend, old stuff. Also, King Emote Cup, big in Japan. Yes, I know the song well. Rally New Zealand, surely it has to be a song about not existing. Ooh. I mean, is there a song for something going missing? Like, as in missing you or something? That works, if there's one. If it is missing, if it doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure Rally New Zealand exists. It went on in like 2000, it was 2003 last time I saw it. So, maybe it has. Maybe it's disappeared completely, I don't know. Even the New Zealand government's 404 pages a map without New Zealand on it. Oh boy. I mean, if it doesn't have, well, New Zealand exists, obviously. So, must have a rally, surely. French rally? I don't know. I don't really know any French songs.
Yeah.
I don't actually know.
Or then just play French national anthem.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, any initial D would. The Japanese rally.
Deja
Anything,
vu.
yeah, Deja Vu. Oh, Spitfire! Do 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 do.
Running into 90s.
That as well, yeah. Blink 182, I Miss You. That would work, yeah. Yeah. I've not heard it, but I think that works, judging by the sounds of the, what's it called? Judging by the sound of the song title. And then when New Zealand does come back, it'll be, guess who's back? Back again. But only when it comes back. That's if it, I'm pretty sure it's on the WRC calendar though. I've watched WRC for quite a while.
Yeah.
Sorry, someone last two out there. French rally is just someone smashing accordions together without a care in the world. Space boy. Oh god. That made me laugh. Well done, King Emote. You get my full credit of approval on that. I can let that one go. New Zealand's back, tell your friends. Guess who's back? Back again. NZ's back. Tell a friend. Shut your eyes and you're there. You're just there. Going a bit back to gaming though, rather than WRC. I mean, it is relevant. It is rally. But yeah, going back to WRC though, I think in terms of like the thing is that actually I might as well just ask Tomb. Have you played the new WRC games much?
No.
What's the one that you've played the most, would you say, or the one you enjoyed the most? Even if you haven't enjoyed it, which one you got a bit of satisfaction out of?
Well, I mean, pretty much the only one I've played is WRC 2.
Ah, you've not played anything since?
Nothing else. Well, I tried the first WRC, but I didn't like it as much as WRC 2. Something felt off with the first one.
Funny you mentioned that, because I've still got WRC
Yeah,
on my
but
360.
that one's good. That one's actually really good, WRC 2.
There's the second one, the third one, the fourth one. Oh, why am I saying the third one, fourth one? I played WRC 1, skipped a few, played WRC 5, then 6,
What am I doing?
and then that's it. Yeah, I got WRC 6 for free because games on my Xbox, so I managed to play that.
Yeah, well, you, Brad, did instruct me how to set up your sound, and people are saying you're quiet, so I don't know. One were wrong.
Yeah, I don't know, just one of them things. WRC games and stuff.
But still, WRC 2 is actually pretty good, despite it being WRC. You know, just a licensed game, but I like 2.
O2's like, oh, McRaeathon is happening now? Yes, yes it is. Unfortunately, we have timed this quite badly. By that I mean that we do have several marathons going on this weekend. And I say we. We've got our marathon going on, and there's also several others. There's Quickcade, there's Midfest, Speedfest, just to name a few. There is one or two others as well. So it's happening right now, yes, but we've also got there's other marathons that we're competing with, so it's pretty big weekend for McRaeathon and for marathons in general. Let's see.
Yeah, sorry VX that I'm not running CMR2, especially with a Lancer.
My face when the Twitter account doesn't even exist when I click on. Wait, what? The Twitter account doesn't even exist? It should do. Also, wasn't Quickcade cancelled? It wasn't. It was originally going ahead, then it got cancelled. Then they found a new venue. Then that got cancelled literally 2 days ago. So the event's today, and it got cancelled on them. When was it? It got cancelled on them on Thursday night. And surprisingly, they got another venue. So Quickcade got cancelled. It was, what was it? Yeah, Quickcade got cancelled because Red Bull Gaming Sphere, whatever they were using, that got cancelled because of this bloody coronavirus. And then they've managed to snag another arena or something that Red Bull's actually paid for. Since they were going to be using their thing, they said, well look, we're sorry about it, you know. I mean, it looks like that's the bottom line. They've gone, we're sorry that you couldn't use our stuff. Here's a space you can use in this other location that isn't too far. So that it is actually currently going on. They did actually to find somewhere that will host them. And honestly, hats off to the guys for going ahead. I mean, I'm pretty disappointed that we are at this marathon and Quickcade is happening on the exact same weekend. But what I will say, for the most part, that I've got to give a major props to for all of those that submitted for our marathon, and for all of those that have submitted for Quickcade and are actually at the event right now. You know, and all the organisers as well. They've done a fantastic job getting it done. I mean, I'll give it credit where it's due. How they've managed to pull it off, I don't know. Even they're like sheer luck, I think. Even they've said they're in luck. So we've had quite a few.
And I gotta say, I wouldn't have ran were it not for Brad approaching
Yeah.
me. But still, I'm here.
Yep. This is how Tomb's here. Anyone played Dirt Rally in VR? I have. I don't know about you, Tomb. Have you played it in VR at all?
Nah, I don't have VR. It's too expensive, man, and I wouldn't be using it much.
I mean,
But
I
I guess it would be interesting to
I
try out.
don't have VR either. A friend of mine's just told me about it. Sorry, a friend of mine's told me about it. I've known about it for years. I mean, someone's set one up. Yeah, you should give it a try. It's pretty good fun. Although driving is strange because you hold a controller in your hand whilst you sat with the headset. It's bizarre. Very bizarre. Very, very bizarre for that matter. But yeah, he was saying, has anyone played Dirt Rally VR? Because it was a blast, at least with PSVR. I played Dirt Rally 2.0, weirdly enough. I don't own Dirt Rally 2.0. I don't own a VR headset. I don't own anything. Just a friend of mine, Lord Mal 5, I think he's called. He actually set one up at ESA Winter last month and said he brought it with him because he wanted to see if anyone was interested. So I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. It's weird. He gives you motion sickness like there's no time. For me, it wasn't too bad. I came off with a headache, but it was well strange.
Yeah, VR doesn't suit all people.
You can also set up a wheel and pedals as well. Proper sim rig, yeah, exactly. If you have a keyboard and not keyboard and mouse, Jesus Christ. If you have what do you call it? If you do have pedals and a wheel, it's obviously a lot better to drive in. But even me just playing on control was quite. I got to drive some of the cars that were in the game, like the ones I went for mainly. The Aston Martin Vantage rally car that's in it, the Porsche 911 Dakar I think it is, and the 1995 Subaru Impreza. Sorry, Legacy. Oh, was it? No, sorry, it wasn't Impreza, I think. That Colin McRae drove, of course. Had a go on it, really fun. Very fast, the sounds are great. Although the cars are a bit of an anthem. Speaking of cars, O2's asked, how are your cars doing? Do you mean mine in real life or the car that Tomb's driving?
Probably means our real life baskets.
I mean, in that case, do you want to go first, Tomb? How's your car doing?
My car's doing fine. Okay, your turn.
Yeah, mine's doing fine. I think I mentioned earlier that yesterday. So I've traded in my old Subaru and got a new one. Albeit it's not a new model, it's an old one. But I class it as new. It's a new car, but it's not actually new. If that makes sense.
It's just in good condition.
So yeah, I got rid of my 2010 Subaru Impreza hatchback, that nobody likes apparently, and traded it in and got a 2006 Hawkeye Subaru Impreza WRX blue in Rally in blue, or Royal Blue if you want to call it.
What the same as 22B or something?
No, it's the Hawkeye from 2006.
No, I mean the color.
Oh, the colour. No, it's blue, but it's a similar blue to what's on the screen actually. Not on your side, but on my layout.
Yeah, the McRaeathon.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
sort of blue, dark blue. There's pictures of it on my Discord, and for all those intrigued. Yeah, that's a proper WRX. I hate to say it, that the old one didn't feel like a proper one. If anything, it looks like a Vauxhall Astra. I'm glad I owned a Subaru.
And yeah, Joseph, we were discussing that earlier, that this game looks pretty decent.
Getting a Subaru anything but Rally Blue is a war crime. Yeah, I suppose. Hey, each to their own, right? Well, I've got... Put it this way, I've had a go in this Subaru, it's a lot better. It's had a lot of stuff done to it though. That's what's different. I've not done anything to it. The guy who had it before me has. But it goes better, it runs nicer, it sounds a lot nicer too. Brakes better, everything about it's better. It's a win. What can I say?
Even the color's
Yeah.
better.
I wouldn't mind a silver and Chrysler, but blue's the colour everybody.
Yeah.
The problem is these
I want
days,
to keep-
find the blue ones
I want-
impossible because everybody wants one.
Yeah, I want a blue car every single time. I'm actually in the process of trying to buy another car, like get a new car, but at the moment I'm broke, so it can't happen. So I hope he won't sell it to anyone else.
Ouch. Mine's
He even dropped the price, so now it would be really good to get. But
yeah,
Can't
that's
do
how
that
I managed
yet.
to get this one though. I managed to get mine because they got the dealership dropped it by £1,000. So he dropped it from can't remember how much, but yeah, it was pretty good. Dropped it for a decent price. I thought, yeah, I'll have that. So it is.
so for those who own a car, what was your first car ever? Mine was a Toyota MR2.
Bloody hell, that was your first car. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Mine was a Peugeot 206.
At least it wasn't a Ford car.
You know what's funny though? I was saying before, I was proper like throwing digs at the Peugeot 206 though, because I was doing the WRC to Extreme run this morning, earlier on, and I was doing that. The car I was driving was a Super Impreza, but I said that the best car to use is the Peugeot. It's not great though. It's just all over the place. It's a bad car. We were saying actually how bad of a car that is in racing games. Just not that great.
Okay, so we're seeing some Seat here. I also have a Seat in real life.
Seat Me? Is that the mini one? Like the really the
Not
the
sure which
small
one it
I think
is.
the Me's if it's the smart bubble looking car, fair enough, I guess. That's the easiest way to put it. You still got your Ibiza? Bloody hell. How long have you had that? O2, if you don't mind me asking. I thought you got rid of it. Oh, okay. Even though it's a money pit. Oh, still, why would you keep an Ibiza? It's not that good. Although again, do you have one too? Do you say you had a Seat too?
Yeah, I do.
What's the one that you've got?
Leon.
Okay.
Almost the same.
Almost.
But hey, at least it's got a turbo.
VW up. Oof. Yeah, I can kind of. Actually, I've never. Have you been a? That's a nice turbo, by the way. Have you been a fan of the bubble car generation, as I call it?
Me?
Yeah. You know, like VW up, Seat Me, smart cars.
I don't know what to say about them. I just don't. But as far as like compact cars go, not the very newest Micra, but you know, the one introduced in Gran Turismo Concept or 4. The new Micra is ugly.
Yeah.
But not the newest model. That one looks better, but the one from early
It
2000
could be worse. You could drive a Honda Civic.
or a Ford car.
Yeah.
That one's like the most embarrassing compact car.
I used to know someone who had a Seat Ibiza, then he tricked better. They're just not that good. I'm sorry, they're not. I mean, it could be worse. Heck, a lot of cars from the 90s weren't that good. Oh, don't a Yaris. Ugh.
Yaris is actually okay.
Never been a fan of them, me. I mean, they're fun to throw around and smash up, but that's all they're good for in my eyes. They have a Citroen C1 Cup actually. I don't know if anybody here knows of that. There's I think it's either the 1600 Cup or something. But there's a Volt, like I said, a Citroen C1. You know, Citroen C1 Cup. It's pretty good. Fun to watch. It's a laugh really, but it's fun. Yeah, a lot of things in the 90s weren't that good to be fair. At least they were unique though. Cars from the 90s. All the cars these days say, don't they? Let's be honest.
That was the year of cars. Like my MR2 was so unique and cool looking.
Even if it was slow, it was still cool looking. That's the. I was always a fan of cars.
And
the way they look.
I'm talking Mark II.
Ah yeah.
That's the best looking easily. But the new one,
We'll talk again if your Subaru's having warning lights on. Hey, it won't. I'm looking after it. I'm not messing with it, O2. That's the best bit. I don't mess with. My cousin does, and I can easily say he's a big idiot for doing so. He had a VW Golf. He's had loads of cars in the past. He had a VW Golf. He's had Renault Megane and all this, and he's messed them up each and every time. It's true. He's messed it up, and it's all him. It's not family members or anything like that. It's him thinking he knows better, and he's just messed up the cars. Whereas for me, I've not messed any of mine up. The only thing that's gone wrong on any of my cars was the 206. That's it.
Yeah, I nearly did something wrong. I actually slid into a ditch with the MR2, but nothing really happened, so...
How far did it go in though? Did it go like slightly into the ditch? All the way?
Yeah, slightly, just a bit of the rear.
That's not too bad. My mate's
Yeah,
done
it was a
one.
slow...
My mate's had a BMW, he's still got it actually. My mate's had a BMW M3. And his brother had it for a while. And it was in a ditch upside down. Why it looks decent, I don't know.
But yeah, nearly got it wrong. And also one time I was driving on the country road really tired, and then the car just, you know, started shifting towards the ditch, but before it could go in, it hit one of those poles, and then I sort of like jumped up and pulled over and just had to rest for a bit. Just hit the mirror, but yeah.
Yeah.
Close calls. Shouldn't drive when tired.
My mate's done it. Yeah, I mean, my mate's done it. He had a... I don't... Was he driving? Oh, yeah, just driving VW Caddy or something. He was driving a van with some motorsport equipment in it back. And he fell asleep at the wheel, I think, or was getting tired and dozed off, closed his eyes, bang, smashed straight into the back of a truck. He's not dead, don't worry, he's still alive. Not going that dark of a story. But yeah, he said, tell you what, won't do that again. I said, well, why did you do it in the first place if you knew what was going to happen? It's crazy. Fortunately, cross me out, I've touch wood. There you go, touch wood. But I don't get anything bad. As far as servicing goes for my car, I've serviced it before. But it's not, I mean, this new one I haven't done it yet, but I'm going.
And back to the run. So this is the last stage of the penultimate rally, so after this we will start the last one. And the last one is gonna be a pain. I don't like the last rally one bit. So the most enjoyable bit was the middle of the run. Also, I love the sun effect on this stage. Like you can see that the pink is not now like a really burning hot pink. So if nothing else, this game looks gorgeous. Textures, not really obviously the models, but textures. Even the river there looks pretty damn cool. And then obviously, you know, all these effects. Lightning effects, shadows. Game looks gorgeous. Also, sneeze incoming. Oh, bless me.
Bless you on that one.
Yep. Oh well, at least I wasn't. At least I had enough time to warn. Oh, come on. I hate that with PS1 games. You know, the in-between space of two blocks in the wall. That's where your car gets stuck. And as a result, we're dropping back, but not for long. We can still beat the AI. Well, yeah, Joseph, but this is far from the only PS1 game with those physics. When the walls, even straight walls, are made up of blocks, then you unfortunately hit that space between the two blocks. And that is the result. But nowadays that's not really a thing anymore, unless it's a modeling error or just, you know, poorly made game. But God, can you stop getting stuck in the walls, please? I wanna hit that. I wanna hit my estimates, so that's not helping. But I don't think in Gran Turismo it's that severe. Like, yeah, you have the suspension crushing walls, but the walls are made enough well that you don't just stop dead when you're grinding against them. So they have something done right at least. But yeah, that is the last stage of this rally. And now we're starting the last one, which is, I wouldn't say least favorite, but one of my least favorites, because the last few stages are just pain. That is so hard to get right, and you need to remember how they go. Pace notes won't help you because they're too late. That's also a problem with all rally games, is that the pace notes come too late, and you can't adjust how early or late they are called. They're just fixed, and you have to deal with them. But that's one problem old rally games have. So you pretty much have to learn stages instead of relying on the notes.
3, 2, 1, go!
But yeah, the introduction to this rally is rather cool. Getting some Isle of Man vibes from this. Yeah, you should sell it to someone who actually needs it. I mean, you already have a way cooler car, and since you like to mess with cars, then you can obviously use that car as an everyday car. Oh god, the lag in this stage. That wasn't on me, that's the game. Loading the stage. Like sometimes you can get like those frame drops when the game has to load the stage, but in general obviously the frame rate is okay. Sometimes we have those slowdowns. What? What did I say wrong this time? Oh, so that bad, huh? Well, I'll just focus on the run. Last 30 minutes or so. Don't know what the timer is even saying at the moment, but you know, last stage, and each rally is like 30 minutes average. Oh. Yeah, mastering this game is an achievement. Of course it doesn't take that much, but sometimes I feel like I'm just trying too hard, like... And that was the opposite of trying hard. But sometimes I just feel like the physics are controllable and predictable, but sometimes I just drive too fast, so that causes crashes. I mean, an Evo probably should be loud. But I probably know what you mean though. If it's like unhealthy loud, then obviously yeah. But yeah, already in the first rally we are struggling. It doesn't help that this is tarmac. Ooh, come on, don't roll over again. Not again. Get back onto the track. Thank you. Good thing we slowed down there though, we could have hit that other wall. But yeah, 5 more stages of torment. That's just the way it is. I wish I had something good to say about this rally, but I really don't. Most of the stages are just horrible. Especially the last 2, like I said. So I'll be glad once this run is over. And then we'll see what the time is. I'm not expecting much. Especially with all these rollovers and crashes. I don't know, VX. But he should be back by the end of the run, because obviously he's the one doing the splitting. And there, you had a huge huge cut there again, and that's like the last significant one. Don't even remember when the last one was, ages ago. So it just goes to show how straightforward this game is. You barely have any of those. Oh, come on! Yeah, these stages are hard, man. And the tarmac physics don't help. But yeah, at this point I just hoped I hit the estimate. 241. And I'm guessing this run is going just below, maybe? Considering how it's gone. But yeah, I'm not expecting much, unfortunately. I thought I would have been fine with this run, but no. Well, the beginning I can still forgive, because I was still warming up. Just started the run, but there have been some parts which I could have done so much better. You know, as a speedrunner, I care about these things. I care about my performance rather than just running for fun. Although, once something is not fun, then there's no point in doing it anymore, but I just mean that this run could have gone better. I still like the game. Just one of those games that are not the easiest to run. There you go, 4 more stages. That was actually quite short, or at least felt like it. That could have gone better. By the way, Joseph, just out of curiosity, how many watchers do we have over at PSG? Oh boy. I think, yeah, this is the second last stage, if I counted correctly. And this is gonna be a torment. Ah, Joseph must not be here then. Oh well. And just as I say that, there must be like a huge delay then. Because, yeah, there was like a 30-second delay from when I said it. Wasn't aware. Oh well. 38, so we have gotten a few more then.
Hello. Yeah.
You're back. Hello.
Yeah, I think I just caught in at the right moment about if there was a delay or not. There is a slight delay between you saying it and it comes through on stream, but I don't know how big, probably about 20 seconds or something, so you might have to wait like a bit before it comes over. If that makes sense.
You're also a bit quiet.
Yeah, sorry. I've been away. I've been reading chat to be fair and keeping an eye on things. But yes, hello everybody. I'm still here, don't worry.
But yeah, if I counted correctly, this is the second last stage.
Also, everything in chat for like the last 5 minutes has actually been us talking. I say us, but I think we kicked something off here. Oh, that's not bad though. I'm all for an active chat. It's all car chat, but you know, still.
Better than quiet.
Yeah, that's true.
I wasn't sure what to expect from this run, but there's been a lot of activity, even a donation, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god, who even bothers to do that chicane?
I was actually going to ask about something.
Yeah?
In terms of going back to the whole rallying situation. In terms...
What, WRC?
Yeah. So going back to rallying, what would you say is the standout feature of a game, or what do you think is a feature that stood out to you in the past, that in a past game that you think could make a return? So something, say you were making your own WRC game, for example. What's something that was in a previous WRC game that's not been in for a long time? Like say, I don't know, one of the original WRC games, and it's something that could be put into the new ones. You know, like an old feature that you could bring back, that sort of thing.
Well, I can't really speak because I've only played WRC 2.
Is there anything there that you think that can be brought to
Also, I'm doing so well right now.
You say you got 2 stages.
Just before the finish. Ugh. Hope I'm doing fine on time. What's the time actually right now?
2:37:43 as.
Right. Okay. Well, we might hit the. Actually, I don't know. This is actually just stage 5. So we're going a little bit over the estimate. The run's been that bad. Jeez.
I've just gone 2:38 now, but not logged into the stage yet.
Yeah, and this is just the 5th stage. So we still have one more after. Something, yeah. Just earlier I was speculating what the time's gonna be, and I'm afraid it's gonna go over.
That's alright. That's fine.
Oh well, can't always win.
Yeah.
Ow.
I went over.
Not even.
So you won't be the
Not,
first.
not even Hamilton.
You probably
Not
won't
even
be the
Hamilton
last
can always
either.
win.
It's no big deal though.
Alright. I thought I would have done better, but no.
I should probably quickly mention as well, whilst you're going to him, if I can just briefly mention about a few things regarding the charity and everything. If
Sure.
that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so to everybody that's watching right now on the BSG channel and on the McRaeathon channel, I just want to remind everybody that we are raising money for the Dutch Cancer Society, which is a nationwide organisation committed to fighting cancer whilst aiming for a better cure and a high quality of life for those already battling the horrible disease. All of your donations that you send through via these 2 days, so from today and tomorrow, will go to the Dutch Cancer Society. We should also mention as well that all money that goes through to donation incentives and all that stuff, everything, every single cent, euro, dollar, pound, anything that you donate will go straight to the Dutch Cancer Society. And speaking of donations and stuff like that, there's still an active bid war which is currently going on, and that is for the flat out run coming up later this evening. Long story short, with that one, it's the normal way or the slow way, and we're about halfway there currently for the donation incentive. And basically, if we hit that, then it means that you get to make Yonko's life a bit more of an interesting time when he does his flat out run later on. So, it's all down to you. I should also mention as well, we do have a couple of other bid wars that are currently going on. So you get to pick the car for my Sega Rally Championship run tomorrow. There's also a Neo Drift Out run, I believe it's called. The winning car of that bidding war will be the one that the runner will use, same for the Sega Rally one I mentioned. And finally, we also have a bonus run courtesy of Technical with Top Gear 2, which will be going on tomorrow. And the Top Gear run will be it's USA percent, so he's doing all of the tracks in the game, and the main bit will be, of course, that he'll be doing that as part of a bonus incentive. So if we hit those marks, then you'll be able to make the runs be different, is what I'm saying. And yeah, I'll hand it back over to Toom.
Yeah. Speaking of the Top Gear 2 run, when I was about to start the run, I talked about how this is the second most long run in the marathon, and obviously the Top Gear 2 run is the longest one.
Top Gear 2 is at 3 hours. 3 hours 5 minutes, that's the estimate, but we'll see how fast we get that down to. I think his PV is like a 2T odd or 250 odd, so it could easily go underestimate, but obviously it all depends on the AI playing ball and whatnot. It is an old game as well, that Top Gear. I think it's on the SNES, so that should be an interesting time.
Well, no matter what, I hope he'll do better than I did.
I wouldn't worry about it too much too.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I always knew I wasn't going for a PB run, but this run's just really bad. I completely lost focus on some points. Could have done so much better, but here we are. And I reckon it's like 2:40 now, and we're just starting the last stage.
Oh, currently starting the last stage. The timer reads when it loads.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, a minute.
Left 5.
So the timer reads 2:42:51 when you're entering the stage.
Yeah, so that's pretty bad.
Well, I'm guessing time is as soon as you... Right?
Yeah, as soon as I hit the line. And I'll let you know when it's coming because it's dark.
You'll say time to me, but it'll have to wait. I'll have to wait till it comes through on the stream properly, but it should be fine.
And it's not like it matters. This is not a good run. So I don't care what the time's gonna be.
Is it a fast stage, the
But
night
yeah.
stage? Or is it long?
You mean how long
yeah.
is it?
Yeah, yeah,
I think this is like 2 minutes at least. The one I did, the one I was moaning about how hard it was, that was the shortest stage easily. All the other stages are like 2 minutes at least, but that stage was only 120 if you do it properly. But yeah, this should be at least 2 minutes. Probably 3. Forget how long it was. But not a short one.
Looks like the entire chat's just gone to Carter. I mean, that's convenient, I guess. Can I just sit there, have a chill out, have a chat, as you do. Chat's going nuts.
Well, that's only a good thing.
Yeah, of course it is.
We want you to go nuts.
Yeah, go crazy, guys. Just don't talk about too explicit stuff.
Go crazy, donate 1,000.
We should have donate $1 or something every time you crashed. We've probably got to about
Donate all
200
you got. Donate all you got for a good cause.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we have to refund. Oh dear.
Yeah. He lied. No, I didn't.
But just there you could see. Earlier on the run I was talking about this stage. It has a really distinct spot where it draws in really close to the car, and there you could see it. It was like directly in front of the car, loading the stage, but it's not really. It doesn't really matter here because we see so much anyway. Also, we are getting close to the line.
Oh,
And time.
got to wait for it to come through on the stream because it's behind.
Yeah, no worries.
There we go. 2:46.11.
Yeah, that's freaking terrible.
I wouldn't worry
I was
yourself
expecting
too
at
much.
least two. I was expecting at least 242, but 246. That's only slightly better than my submission run, which was really casual.
Hey, you still won it.
But just goes to show.
Still won it.
Yeah, but that's like the minimum. If you can't even win the rally, then you should really consider what you're doing.
But either way,
But
GG. Well done.
yeah. Now I'm just glad that this is finally over. But yeah, it goes to show how good my PB run is if it's sub 240, and I just got 246 now, so it's
That's fine. No worries.
several minutes faster.
Oh, I won't worry about it too much. And on that note, we're going to start getting set up for the next run. So the next run that is...
Oh, but one thing before that, I might as well show you the WRC cars that I just unlocked.
Okay, go for it. Whilst you're doing that, I'll just quickly say that we have got an right up, and that is Top Gear Rally for the Nintendo 64. It is the any percent category, which Joseph is going to be running. So stay tuned for that. And as soon as he showed off the WRC cars.
So yeah, here we have the 206, Cordoba, Impreza, Lancer, and then Proton Vera. I have no idea what Proton's supposed to be, but we had actually from this class,
There you go.
the starter class.
Yeah, they've come up 206.
Proton Compact. This like a privateer sort of
this is an
thing, I
i8
guess.
Impreza. And the Proton Vera, yeah, that was like an... I think, if I remember correctly. Very nice. Yeah, GG. Nice job.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ed.
finally we're done with
Yeah.
this.
We
Because
go.
that was pretty much a struggle, but hey, it's good. It was good to be here. It's a pleasure.
No worries, thank you very much for accepting the invite. And
Yeah.
on that note, as I leave Toon to go and do his business, we'll start getting the next run set up for you guys, and